The town of Willow Creek was dressed in celebration. Bunting flags hung from wooden beams, their colors swaying with the late summer breeze, and the sound of fiddles carried over the dirt-packed streets. The Harvest Festival came once a year, and with it came laughter, dancing, and the whispered hopes of young men and women. Under the glow of lanterns strung across the square, couples spun in circles, boots striking the ground in rhythm, skirts flaring like petals caught in the wind. Clara Bennett stood at the edge of the square, her hands clasped tight in front of her. She had braided her fiery red hair that afternoon, pulling it back with careful hands until every strand was smooth. Her dress, blue cotton with a cream blouse beneath, was one of her finest, simple but neat, pressed crisp by hours over a hot iron. She had stood in front of the mirror far, longer than she cared to admit, hoping that somehow, this year, the reflection staring back might be different. But Clara knew better. Year after year she had stood in this very place, watching as the young men of Willow Creek asked the prettier, softer-spoken girls to dance. She knew the order of it all. The farmer's son would bow awkwardly to the blacksmith's daughter, the storekeeper's boy would take the preacher's niece by the hand, and so on until nearly every young woman was claimed. Then, and only then, when laughter had grown loud enough to fill the gaps, the boys would let their eyes fall briefly on Clara, red-headed, freckled, sharp-eyed Clara, and turn away again. Her heart had grown used to the sting, though the pain never dulled. The town thought her proud, aloof, too bold for her own good. She spoke her mind when others stayed quiet. She walked alone when others clung together, and she worked harder than any man on her father's ranch. Strength, it seemed, did not suit a woman in Willow Creek. Tonight would be no different. Clara told herself this as she shifted her weight from one boot to the other, her eyes tracing the lanterns above. But still, somewhere deep in her chest, a sliver of hope fought to survive. Maybe, just maybe, someone would see her differently. The fiddles quickened. Another round of dancing began. Men stepped forward, calling names, holding out hands. Clara kept her chin high, though her stomach twisted into knots. Mary Collins, with her golden curls and sweet laugh, was chosen first, as always. Ruth Carter next, then Anna Whitfield. Each girl's face lit with joy as they hurried into the circle, skirts swishing, laughter bubbling. Clara's breath caught when a tall man glanced her way. She forced her lips into a smile, but then his eyes slid past her, settling instead on the girl beside her. Clara's chest ached, but she held her posture steady, refusing to let the disappointment show. His voice, when it came, was low and certain. "Miss," he said, bowing his head just slightly, "would you do me the honor of this dance?" Clara's breath caught in her throat. Around her, the laughter threatened to bubble. The townsfolk ready to sneer, to say it was a jest. But the cowboy's eyes held no mockery, only a quiet respect, a firmness that made her knees weak. The moment stretched. Clara's heart warred within her chest, fear of humiliation on one side, a desperate longing on the other. Slowly she extended her hand. "Yes," she whispered. The cowboy's gloved fingers closed around hers, warm and steady. Together they stepped into the circle, where lantern light painted them gold and the music rose again. For the first time in her life, Clara Bennett was chosen.